in the 200 fly. This is a summer to remember in Singapore. McIntosh in a championship record.
Well, it was the summer of summer, and a summer we will not be forgetting anytime soon. What a phenomenal end to a phenomenal competition for Summer McIntosh. Her 4th gold medal, her 5th medal of these championships. Devin, Heroux, Brittany, MacLean, Campbell here to break it all down. Devin, you're right in the action. There are so many expectations on this youngster, and yet today she won her premier event by 8 seconds. How'd it go?
Absolutely dominant, right? And I think there were a lot of people around here, Britt, who were wondering what Summer was going to do in the wake of the 800-meter free disappointment. We talked a lot about it. Summer was obviously disappointed. She left that all behind her. She left it here at the pool, came back here today, put a perfect swim in the prelims forward, and then here tonight, she put on a show. I'll tell you what, there was a lot less stress, Britt, here at the pool tonight, and I think we knew it was going to be that way, but an 8-second win in her 5th event at the World Aquatics Championships tells us exactly who Summer McIntosh is. She's a champion. She's put together one of the greatest meets of all time, and just a short time ago here at this pool, for her efforts, Britt, she was named the World Aquatics Best Female Swimmer. And guess what? Water is wet, to no one's surprise. There's the McIntoshes celebrating. Everybody, the coaching staff, Fred, we'll talk more about that. But dominant and a big smile. Thumbs up. 4 gold medals, 5 individual medals overall. Had a chance to talk to Summer, Britt. After this, she had all 5 medals around her neck. Take a listen to what she had to say.
Yes, I mean, it's been a long week, and to finish it off with that time, honestly, I'm very happy with it. And to finish off with my teammates in the relay, I mean, I gave it my all. It might have not been my best swim, but we gave it our all, everything in the pool tonight. So overall, happy with this World Championships. I have to be. 4 golds is something that I've never achieved at the world stage before. I broke my kind of curse of 3. Everything comes in 3s, but now everything comes in 4s, and hopefully I can push for everything to come in 5s. Even though I fell short of my goal in the 200 fly and overall with the gold medal count, I mean, it's not a failure whatsoever. 4 golds is 4 golds, and I have so many amazing takeaways and so many lessons that I can learn from this meet, and that's what's going to keep pushing and moving me forward.
To that point, Summer, I would say you were so vulnerable and brave to take on the 800-meter free. That was the big challenge, and you wanted to take that on. What have you learned about yourself in this pursuit of 5?
I knew it was going to take a lot, and I think this is just going to push me to be hungrier and hungrier and hungrier. I mean, I always want more, but tonight I'm just going to celebrate my wins, and the next few weeks I take off swimming, and then next season I'll be in the pursuit again to just moving forward and keep getting better, expanding the events I do, strengthening my weaknesses and strengthening my strengths as well, and all things like that. And of course, always thinking about that 800 and that 200 fly. All those little things really are what keep me going on those really hard training days.
Well, they keep us going too, Summer. So it is great to see her reflecting on it, celebrating what has been, but also acknowledging what is still to come, which I think is so special. And it just reminds us all the perspective in the world. Some of the stats that I want to make sure all our viewers are clear on, because I know, Devin, you've been tweeting them all out, but the 3rd swimmer in history to win 5 individual medals at World Championships, Michael Phelps and Sarah Sostrom are the only other 2. The 4th gold of the meet, the only other person to do that, Katie Ledecky, who she's going to get to race for the next couple of years. We cannot wait to continue to follow that matchup. And then lastly, of course, she's the first Canadian to win 5 individual medals at a single World Championship. Summer McIntosh sets herself apart in a league of her own. One person I'm interested to hear from, though, her coach right now, Fred Heroux, he has taken on Summer over the last few months. She has a whole new joy in her, I call it a pep in her step. She seems to really appreciate the sport. She's having so much fun with him. So let's hear what he had to say.
We discussed about keeping working and keeping trying to be perfect. We know perfection doesn't exist, but the search for perfection is what I guess we share. She's part of the family, had a great relation with her mom and dad and Brooke, her sister. So, yeah, it's just amazing. Like, I don't want to cry now on TV, but I'm that close. It's been a lot more than just a one-on-one relation for 6 months. This is what you do, you know. at the end of the day, I like to say that I coach people, I don't coach swimmers. And coaching Summer has been, fantastic.
It's so special, and I know they've had a short chapter together. There is a little added emotion, though, because she is taking on a new chapter just a few weeks from now. She's going to be moving to Bob Bowman. But, Devin, I'd love to hear from you, your reflections on that conversation with Fred.
Yeah, so a couple of things, Britt. First of all, Summer McIntosh will always point out that she's a little bit short. She will always tell me that. I find it remarkable when she reflects on a meet, and that was what she wanted to talk about again here tonight. The 800-meter free and the 200-meter butterfly world record is going to be buzzing around in her brain as she prepares to go to Bob Bowman in 19 days. And she sort of laughed and smiled and shook her head and said, I can't believe I'm doing this. Now over to Fred. It takes a pretty special person, in my opinion, to know that you're the middle man, that you're getting 6 months with one of the greatest swimmers in the history of the sport. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. But right now, she is on the planet, Britt. And Fred took this on. He met it head on. He knew exactly what it was going to be. No ego. He put everything into this, sacrificed a lot, came to Victoria for the trials, 3 world records together, and then poured everything into this. It's remarkable to me. I got emotional with Fred. We shared a moment after the interview. This has been really, really special for him. He's gotten to know the family. He's gotten to know Summer really, really well. I don't think this is by any means the end of their relationship. I think Summer will end up in the south of France many, many times moving forward. But I can't say enough good things about Fred, and I can't say enough good things about how excited I am for Summer McIntosh to join Bob Bowman.
Well, and Bob Bowman's crew had an exceptional week. Standing beside her on that high point final trophy was Leon Marchand. They're going to get to train it together. They have almost an identical program. Leon, one of his strengths actually is the breaststroke, which I'm most looking forward to because right now that's one of Summer's weaknesses. So maybe he can give her a few pointers in that perspective. But also Bob Bowman's crew were both gold, silver, and bronze. I guess all gold, silver, and bronze in that men's 200 IM. So an event Summer already holds a world record in. Think about the potential here, the training environment. There are so many different things we're going to get to chat about next year, because as much as this is all expectation and all positive trajectory, sometimes coaching changes don't go the way you want them to, right? So there's still so many different things we have to figure out. She's probably going to be challenged in practice more than she ever has before. Regan Smith, one of her biggest competitors in butterfly and backstroke, trains there. There's a million different layers. I cannot wait next year to break it all down with you, Dev. This is the next chapter for McIntosh, just about to begin. Before we do move on, though, I do want to open our final envelope of the week. Devin and I made some predictions at the beginning of this meet, or before it started, and we've been very far off. But now we're just basically trying to see who is the least of the far off, I guess is the best way to do it. So with that, I'm going to open our final predictions of what we thought Summer McIntosh was going to do in this women's 400 IM final. I always started off with you, Dev, because you set the tone and you set it fast. So let's see Devin Heroux's prediction of 4:23.13. You had a world record mark for every one of her swims, by the way. I just want to point that out. If anyone believes in Summer McIntosh...
Absolutely, I did.
If anyone believes in Summer McIntosh, it's Devin Heroux. And let's not take that lightly. We are her biggest fans, okay? Brittany MacLean Campbell, 4:24.81. Okay, I wasn't that far off. About a second off tonight. Okay, well, there we see it. Oh, less than a second. Go me. Okay, that may have been my closest so far, honestly. Maybe the 200 fly, because we both got pretty close there. So with that, totaling our tally, Brittany MacLean Campbell, 9.84 seconds off our predictions. Devin Heroux, 14.10. And with that, Devin, I'm going to start thinking about where you're taking me to dinner. But honestly, Dev, I'm thinking that my way through here. You've just been in Singapore working so hard for the last 2 weeks, and you're gearing up to have your wedding later in the month. So if anything, I should be taking you to dinner. But in theory, I will reign supreme as the champion here. But congratulations to you for the silver medal, and we will move forward with that.
Yes, I love being in the silver medal position when there are 2 competitors. That's a huge, huge accomplishment. I will listen, Britt. I will also say that whole board there actually checks out perfectly for how our conversations have always gone with Summer. I think I've always tended to be on that side of things, and you've sort of been on that side of things. So I love that we played our roles perfectly. Listen, I will say that Leon Marchand in the 200-meter individual medley in a semifinal, the only individual swimmer to break a world record here in Singapore. So I guess that's a little bit of comfort for me to consider the fact that it wasn't overly fast here. I can't remember. No. Can you remember a world championship where we have seen so few world records broken? And we didn't talk about the depth of the pool at all.
Yeah, exactly. We didn't talk about depth of the pool, which that shouldn't have been a factor. It was deep. I will say, I think there's been so many different distractions when it comes to this meet. Of course, the sicknesses of the Americans, which then trickle down to other members of different countries. And then you also have just like the lineup changes, the disappointment and the drama with the American team. They're lacking still a CEO, and the voices that have been sharing what they think about it has been all over the place. Every day I feel like we have different drama, but it hasn't come in a world record swim most of the nights. So it's such a good point. Only one individual world record, but I think the one takeaway just in the big grand scheme of things is that it's a post-Olympic year and the excitement was still elevated. Sometimes a post-Olympic year, you see a lot of lackluster. Although we didn't see a lot of records, I would say the level of performance and the level of expectation was just as high as it was at the Olympic Games. With that, we are going to go to our next big highlight, which was the men's medley relay. Devin, what a swim for the Canadians. And I know it's always tough to kind of bring this one into perspective because sometimes a fifth place finish can get easily overlooked. But a Canadian record swim for that, I was going to say the trio, but there are four of them, the quad, the group of four that took on that medley relay. It was so fast. This morning in the prelim, they set a Canadian record, and then they dropped a full second tonight to lower that Canadian record. The Canadian record stood since 2009. That's a 16-year-old Canadian record. Dev, break it down for me.
Well, I have two thoughts on this one, Britt, because I've been talking about this men's program for years now and how it's been building and evolving and growing. And as they walked over to me tonight, I thought they must be getting sick of me saying, congratulations, guys, on a fifth place finish or a fourth place finish. You keep growing, you keep building. Congratulations on a national record. But I think that's also a wonderful thing because this is where we are at with the Canadian men's program now. They are in the heart of these relay races. Oliver Dawson, 17 years old. He was in the belly of the beast with the Giants on the men's side in so many relays. He won a bronze medal on the relay, the mixed relay earlier at the World Aquatics Championships. Blake Tierney broke the Canadian backstroke record, Britt, in the morning, the 100-meter backstroke record. And what I've heard here at the pool here tonight is that Ilya Heroux really, truly, madly, deeply wanted to be a part of this relay here tonight. He wanted to be beside Josh Liendo. They wanted to anchor this thing. Josh finishing in what, like 47 seconds? I mean, 46.9 he was brilliant as well. It's 46.9. Don't undersell Josh Liendo. Thank you, Britt. And speaking of Josh Liendo, here's some thoughts from him after the race.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, I saw the boys put up a good performance this morning. Got me hyped up, got me ready to go. I knew that we had a good team, so I was excited to get out there and race those guys tonight, and it was a good race.
You were trying to track him down. You almost got there, Josh.
Yes, sir. I mean, I felt the wave off the dive because I think the Russians were beside us far ahead. So I was like, snuck into that wave, especially on the second 50, and just tried to come home hard.
Well, Tierney, Dawson, Heroux, and Liendo, all four of them with phenomenal splits. You mentioned Blake Tierney's Canadian record in the prelims. He was only less than a tenth off at night, so doubling up pretty much that performance. 53.03. Dawson, a 59.99. Always nice to get under a minute. Heroux, 49.83. And then 46.90. all 4 men stood up and performed. That gets me so excited for the potential of that relay because all of them are still so early on in their careers. This is a team that is going to build toward LA and has the potential of being one of the first teams on the men's program to get on the podium. Dev, final thoughts on that men's program here at the championships.
Well, Britt, it's been since 1973 that the Canadian 4x100 medley relay team has won a medal. So that just tells you how difficult this race is. We saw a world record in the race here tonight. And so it is really, really challenging, but they are knocking on the door. And I actually asked Blake Tierney about that. I never want to look too far ahead with our athletes, but I was excited. I was with you. I talked about LA 2028. And I really believe that as these young men continue to grow, continue to put forward really great performances in these big moments, that come LA, they just might have their breakthrough moment. And I can't wait for that moment when that interview goes from national record 5th place to national record medal performance. It is going to be something when those guys break through, and I believe, Britt, it's going to happen.
Oh, I have goosebumps already. I cannot wait. But the women's program has continued to build. Of course, we didn't see any more individual medals outside of Mary-Sophie Harvey and Summer McIntosh, but the relays were always in the mix. And we thought about, ruling out the relays when it came to this meet as soon as Penny Alexiak absent, the retirement of Maggie McNeil, so many different factors, missing pieces, but they stood up and in every single one of the women's relays, they were in the mix. And I think there's a lot to give credit to there. So our women's 4x100 medley relay also finishing 5th, that team of Moss, Angus, so cool to see Summer back in the pool in 100 fly of all things, and then anchoring Taylor Ruck. Let's talk about their splits before we hear what they had to say, because 58.77 for Kylie, 106.52 for Sophie, Summer McIntosh with a 57.35, and Taylor Ruck comes home in at 52.99. So although they looked so far back because those American women dominated the world record, all 4 members of this team showed up. Summer visibly fatigued and yet not used to swimming 100 fly. She gave it her all in there. She kind of kept them in the position. And then Taylor Ruck with a beautiful 52.99 coming home. Devin, what was her energy like coming through the mix zone?
They were thrilled. So many good takeaways from this women's team. Taylor Ruck is swimming so fast. She is back. She was gassed. She was busy this week, Britt. But when she talked to me, she was gassed. She said, I did everything I can. 52.99, you said. She is trending in the right direction. Sophie Angus always gets the job done on the medley relay. And you know what? I think back to a conversation a couple of years ago. She was actually done with swimming. She was going to quit, but it was the spot on the medley relay team that kept her going. I remember she won a medal with the team in Fukuoka, her first world championship medal there. Kylie was crying. It was a beautiful moment. And here she was again, doing what she does in that leg of the race. Kylie Moss, what can you say? She is a baller. She just gets it done. And listen, I think it's extraordinary that Summer McIntosh took this on. After 5 individual events, she wanted to finish her best ever meet on the world stage with her team. I think we should pay attention to that, Britt. I think that tells you everything about her and what this whole situation, the whole team means to her. And guess what? When she stood on the podium here, Britt, I don't know if the cameras got on this situation, but a ton of Canadian swimmers were here. They stayed late because that medal ceremony was long, and they were there singing "O Canada" proudly with the maple leaf draped over the edge of the bleachers, watching Summer. It goes both ways. Summer's inspiring them. They're inspiring Summer. That's exactly what you want on a team.
And there's no greater leader for that team than the veteran Kylie Moss. So we're going to hear what she had to say after the relay.
Yeah, we do love a team, and it's such an honor to be a part of a team. And I think, at least for me personally, every time I get the opportunity, I try and come out of myself, and because I know it's for more than just me. And you never know when or if you'll ever get an opportunity to be on one again. So I try and just cherish that moment, and I feel like that entire 100, I was just like thinking about the girls and doing it for them.
Kylie always has a way of making me emotional to close out every meet. She does it again. These Canadian women and men make me so proud to be a swim fan. What an honor it was to cover these championships. With that, we're going to summarize it. Canada overall won 8 medals, 5 of them coming from the great Summer McIntosh. They stand 4th overall in the medal tally. 4 gold, 4 bronze. They were really tied in the total numbers with France, but then they snuck in with a cheeky silver to one of our Canadian bronze, now bumping us out of the 3rd spot. But it does improve upon Fukuoka, where there were only 6 medals for Team Canada back in 2023. So a lot of growth for this team, but then also a lot of room for improvement. We saw multiple 4th place finishes, probably Blake Tierney's meet of his life. Summer McIntosh making history. There was so many things that we can see positive trajectory for this team. Devin, I'd love to hear your final closing thoughts for this Singapore World Championships.
Well, first of all, Britt, I just want to thank you. I continue to learn so much from you, and it is such a pleasure to be able to feed off your energy and your care for the Canadian swimmers in this entire program. So I want to start with that. Secondly, it continues to be such an honor to be here on the pool deck to talk to our Canadian athletes who are just going, just pushing, trying to build. I said to a lot of them tonight off camera, Canadians care about swimming maybe more than they ever have. They're waking up. I'm getting notes from people from coast to coast to coast about setting their alarm, about waking up with us, about watching swimming. It does make me emotional when I know that this sport that you care about, that so many people care about, is a real place of unity right now when I think we all sort of need it. So Canadians here in Singapore, making our country so proud. To the fans, to the athletes, to the organizers here, an extraordinary World Championships. This swimming program continues to build, continues to grow, and it is an ultimate pleasure to be here and do this alongside you, Britt. So I think that's my closing thoughts. They're tearing apart the pool. Like I said, they put it in a parking lot, a pop-up pool. The circus is being torn down around me. So I'm locked in, sticking with you right to the end. But they're trying to wrap this show up. We're the last people here every night, and I wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
Devin, we are so grateful for your dedication. I know I've said it before, but this sport needs leaders and advocates like you to continue to make it exciting. So we're so grateful for all your work. Congratulations to all the swimmers, especially those Canadians. It is not lost on me what we're witnessing Summer McIntosh achieve, and I cannot wait to see the future of this program. Year 1 down in the new quad, 3 more years to go towards LA 2028. Buckle up, everyone. It's going to be exciting. Cheers.